Alright guys, Hazing here, welcome back to the channel for another Final Fantasy VII Evercrisis video. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over a few things that I really think we need within the game to make it a better experience for all of us. I'm not going to do the whole clickbaiting YouTube thing of things this game needs or it's going to die, right? None of that, but it is things I do think the game really needs to address pretty quickly, to be honest, to give us all a more enjoyable experience, because if we've got a more enjoyable experience, we're all going to continue to play the game and it's going to be more fun. Right, so first of all, anyone who is any kind of degree of length into this game will have very quickly come to realise that at its core, this game is a farming simulator, right? You need to farm. You need to farm a hell of a lot, right? Basically, you need to farm everything. There's no two ways about it. You've got to farm items for your weapons, you've got to farm items to craft materia, you've got to grind items to level materia. On top of that, you've then got to do things like get things to level your characters in here, as in the PCs and the shards. On top of that, you've also got to grind all the individual materials that make up the weapons that you have got within here, okay? So one of the things that I really do think they need to add to this game, because there is so much grinding involved, is they have to add some sort of an auto repeat function, because we need to run our stages a lot of times, right? We need to run stages a lot of times just to get the materials we need for each individual element, and it takes a lot of time. So some people would really just like the ability to hit auto repeat, set amount of stamina, come back and it's done, because these games are not supposed to dominate your life, they're supposed to be casual, right? If they add skip tickets, I suppose that's fine. The only issue with skip tickets is they then become a resource, which is a finite resource, and they either sell those to you or you've got to farm them from somewhere. So I'd rather you use auto repeat, to be honest, but skip tickets I suppose would be better than nothing, right? So we need something like that in the game, because the grind that we've got to do is a little bit excessive, but you know, it's all part of the fun. On the subject of grind though, and if we had auto grind and if we had skip tickets, that in itself would expose another issue that is already here, right? So the actual grinding is a little bit disjointed. That's how I'm going to describe it. Disjointed, okay? Because as it stands, we'll just use a weapon as an example, right? To do a weapon, I need to get parts, right? So looking at this weapon here, I need to get these parts. So I can go to the stage where I get these parts. Once I've got these parts, I then need to put items in to level the weapon, which is then another stage to get those parts. It's a lot of jumping about. It would be nice if we could have like, I want to say like one level where we can grind all the resources needed for, say, physical attack swords. Maybe a different stage where it's the materials we need for magical healing weapons. I don't know, just something that kind of has them all together so that we're not having to jump about all these stages constantly and it's not so disjointed. But that in itself isn't the biggest issue at play, right? And I don't want to harp on about this issue, but the fact is, it is an issue and they are going to have to address it sooner or later, right? So let's go in and look at that exact item that I would need for that weapon. So, weapons quests. I would need to get G nanocubes, which is this one here, okay? Now we do have the luxury on this stage of you do get some of these guys dropping, so maybe other weapons you might need to do, you'll have a head start because of these, right? So if that was a fresh weapon, I would require 30 of these, okay? So this is the stage you would run. Obviously the most effective way to do it is 3 times, so that's 60 stamina, right? So let's see how many you get of these. On average, on a 3 times run, with having the pass, so for most players, you would probably get 1 less than you're going to see me getting here, but I'm going to do the calculations based on having the pass, because that's me painting the game in the best light possible. However, I'll be honest, if you didn't have the pass, your numbers will vary here, okay? Your numbers will vary. In fact, I've got a wee spreadsheet that I'm going to talk about in just a minute, okay? So, 30 equals Okay, that's fine. So I've got this written down on my wee notepad that I'm going to talk about in just a second, but we need to have the numbers coming up here just to validate they are correct. Cool, got that noted down. So I'll give you the numbers for with pass and without pass, right? Makes it a kind of more fair picture, right? So done it on 3 times with me having the pass. Let's see what we got. We got, bearing in mind you need 30. On this occasion we got unlucky, we got 2. I would say that the average is probably, it's usually 4. It's not always 4, but I mean, it's 3, 4, round about that kind of range. So we'll say the average is 3, right? So if you are someone who is doing the 3 times runs and you have the pass and you're working on a 3 average, you're going to have to do somewhere between 7 and 8 runs. So we'll do 7.5 as the average amount of runs that's required, right? That is going to be 450 stamina, right? So that is 9 stamina refills. If you are someone who doesn't have the pass and you are averaging 1 nanocube less than that, you're probably going to have to do on average 10 runs, which is going to be 600 stamina, which is 12 stamina refills, right? So on top of those stamina refills, you then, once you've got the requirements of these items, which can be slightly helped by getting cactors, and I myself have put out a guide to sort of a guarantee your cactors when you're doing the 3 times runs. I will link that at the end of the video if you want to check it out. We'll save you some stamina. Once you've done this, you then need to go for the materials that you use to level up your weapon. So your weapon enhancement, you're going to have to go down here and you're going to have to do your weapon enhancement stage, which if you do a 3 times run, again, not allowing for cactors because they're random. We don't know when they're going to get them. Even if you do my kind of more controlled method, you still don't know how often you're going to get them. So while you'll save stamina, you're still going to use a lot of stamina. So on this stage, I want to say you average anywhere between 8 and 10 on a 3 times run if you have the pass. So that means without the pass, you're probably going to average somewhere between 6 and 8, right? But just on using numbers that I've worked out, if you are a pass purchaser, you're going to use around about 280 stamina, right? So what's that? 1, 2, just shy of 6 stamina refills. So all in, to do 1 section of a weapon, you're looking at almost 20 stamina refills. Right now that's okay because we've got things like the Crisis Core where we're getting 10 stamina refills a day. You might have some stamina stocked up. But remember, this is 1 weapon. This is 1 stage of 1 weapon upgrade, right? That is going to set you back almost, 20 stamina packs all in. Now remember, that's 1 weapon. You've still got to do things like grinding for your character EXP. You've still got to do things for grinding for your materia. You've still got to do things like going into here, solo content, enhancement quests, things like getting your materials here. You've got to do things like getting your EXP here. You've got your battle tower. You've got the things like your premium quests where you need to get your character shards and stuff. All of these things are going to take a lot of grinding, which again, I'm fine with that aspect of it, but we are going to seriously have stamina issues. People have already got stamina issues, right? So how do they mitigate this? They can actually mitigate this in a way that I think is good and fair. We have these weekly things at the moment that they've started doing, where 1 week we're going to have weapon EXP, etc. Next week it's going to be character EXP, etc. And then the following one, it's going to be materia week, basically, right? Great. Well, I've got like a 20% chance of having better success rate. What I would suggest, if they're not going to give us more stamina options, on those weeks, so weapon week, EXP week, materia week, on those weeks, half the cost of running the stages, okay? So, during weapon week, instead of this stage costing 15 a run, it maybe gets reduced to 8, okay? Because you can't exactly half 15, right? So maybe it gets reduced to 8. So as well as having the slightly increased chances of more success, you also are having the bonus of the stamina usage being halved. And it means that players who maybe can't afford to spend money, don't want to spend money, whatever, they're still going to engage with the game, they're still going to play the game, and they can use the roadmaps available to them to plan out what they're going to do. They can plan out, okay, this is the week I'm going to grind my materia, this is the week I'm going to grind to level my weapons, and all the rest of it. Because ultimately, the way this game works, these aren't optional things. You can't choose to not grind. If you want to play this game, you have to partake in these things, because you will not be able to beat content unless you level your squads using all of these things available to you. And if you are someone who is just going to run on daily stamina refills, there you go, 13 hours for this to fill back up to here, okay? I could run the weapon stage to get the materials I need to level a weapon. I could do that twice in a day on 3 times boosted, right? And I could do it 2 single times as well. That is not even going to get me halfway towards leveling a weapon. So if you're at a point in the game where you're up against a wall and the only way to move forward is power, by leveling up, if it's going to take you 3 days just to gain a slight increase on one character, but you've got to do that for a whole team, what's it going to do? Ultimately, it's probably going to make you stop playing. So I think it's something they need to address as soon as possible, and added to the other things that I said, like making it more streamlined, like making it more accessible for grinding and stuff like that. I think overall it would keep players more engaged for longer with the game, and doing it now would stop it becoming a problem. Anyway, that's just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I've been Hazink, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.